Hi everyone, my name is Prabhat and in this video I am going to discuss about stateful and stateless architecture in system design. Whenever you log into any of the website, your request is typically a part of HTTP session. Since HTTP protocol is stateless, web application develop a technique to create the concept of session on top of HTTP request. So server could recognize a multiple requests from the same users as a part of more complex, long-lasting session. Let us understand with the examples. I will start with the stateful and then we'll cover the stateless. So whenever we visit the site facebook.com, we provide the username and password. Once we provide the username and password, the server will verify whether I am a valid user or not. If I am a valid user, the server will allow to redirect to the home page and I can perform other operations like I can check that messages, I can check the comment, I can send the friend request, I can comment on some of the messages. So those we can do as a part of HTTP session. So now let us understand how the flow works. So whenever this user A make a call to the Facebook server will verify the login informations. So user will pass the username and password. The server will identify when this username and password is correct or not. So this server may call to the database and check whether this is valid user or not. So once this server is able to identify the user A is valid user, it creates some session data and store on the server. So let's say the server created the session ID, let's say user A and some session ID XYZ, and returns some identifier to the users. So now user is able to log in and the server redirected to some page, let's say home page, and also return some of the session identifier to the users. Now the user want to see all the messages. So this user will make a call to messages, so along with the session identifier. So now this Facebook server will verify is the session is created for user or not on this server. If the session is already created, the server will verify with the session identifier and it check with this session data, and if it's valid, then server will redirect to the messages. Similarly, the user again want to send the request, the server will check the identifier and verify with the session data stored in the server. So if this user is valid, then he can make a friend request. This is really good if you are working on the single server architectures where the session is managed on the server. So all the requests user will make, the server has to check that session data on the same server. So it will be faster because the server is not making a call to database again and again. So now let us assume that one more server got added here. This is server S1 and this is server S2. So now we have two servers. So we need some kind of load balancer to distribute the load on this server. This is the load balancer. And now user will make a call to this load balancers. So the user A, which session data is already created on the server 1. So when he try to make a call to messages, if the load balancer redirect the request to this server, then this server will happily respond to the user with the messages. But just imagine if this request will go to this server S2. So in that case, so server will check is there any session identifier for this users, then it find yes, then it try to match session data stored on this server. But this server S2 will not recognize this user because session data is not created here, session data is stored here. So in that case, it may redirect the users to again the login page. So stateful architecture not a handy if you want to scale your application horizontally. So this is very simple example where we have only one or two server. But just imagine in the real world when Facebook have multiple web servers. So this is very simple scenario. Let us assume that the Facebook deployed multiple web server here. Facebook has users in the million and or billion. So in that case, the load balancer can distribute the load on any of the server. But session data created on a specific server. So in that case, the load balancer can redirect the subsequent request to other server. So in that case, user will face login again and again for each and every request. So this is not recommended if you want to scale your application horizontally. So let us understand the stateless architectures. Here user B will try to log into the Facebook server. So he will provide the username and password to the server. Then Facebook server will verify this user with the help of database. If this server found this is the valid user, then it creates some kind of token. If the server found this user is valid user, then it can create a tokens and store that token related information into the database. And similarly, the token also return to the user. So in the subsequent request, whenever user make a next call, then user has to add the token informations. So server will check if the token is valid or not. So server will make a call to database and verify with the particular user is this token is valid or not. If the token is valid, the server will allow to see the messages. This is single server architecture. So let us understand if we add one more server here. So if we add one more server here, then we need some kind of load balancing mechanism to distribute the load on this server. Here we have the load balancer. Load balancer can redirect the request to this server. It can redirect the request to this server. So let us understand how the flow will work here. User B will try to log into the Facebook applications. So he'll make a login call with the help of username and password. So load balancer redirect the request to any of the server. If this server receives the request, server will verify into the database if the user is valid user or not. The server will check the credential for this user in the database, and if the user is valid user, then it creates some token or some session data stored in the database. And similarly, it returns some session information. It could be token information returning to the users. So in the subsequent request, when user make a call to see the messages, so user will make a call to the load balancers. So load balancer can redirect the request to S1 or can redirect the request to S2. In this time, load balancer redirected the request to S2 server. So S2 server will make a call to database with the help of token, because this user is sending the request with the token. So the S2 will check if this user's token is valid or not. Then S2 find that okay, it's a valid user. Let him allow to redirect the message page because the session is still valid. So if you look at this architecture, these servers are identical. If the load got increased in this kind of architecture, then we can add another server here. We can add n number of server. In this case, these are identical. They are not saving any HTTP session data on the server. So request can be processed by any of the server, and they will make a call to database to get that session information, and it's verify, and that based the session is valid, user will able to navigate the other pages. Here we are using database for session storage. But just imagine if user B log into Facebook application. Now he is checking the messages, he is checking the comments, he is sending the friend request, he is deleting the request, he is chatting with someone. So he is doing so many operations, right? So I'm talking about one user. There could be multiple users. So in every case, if we make a call to DB to get that session ID, is not a recommended solution. So instead of database, we can use some kind of cache mechanism. So all the session ID we can store on the cache server. So this, let us assume this is a Redis one. So here now so the first time when request goes to this server will check in the database, and it will check if this user is valid or not, then create the session and store in the cache. We know that cache is faster. So in that case, we can store this all the session data into the cache. So in this case, so now hope you understand. Here we cannot scale the application horizontally. Here we can scale the application horizontally. This concept will be applicable on multiple layers. It could be front-end layer where we have multiple web server. So we should avoid storing session data on any, not only session data, any kind of state. It could be file, it could be logs. Those things we should avoid storing on this server. We should store those information on the some external data store. It could be DB or it could be cache. So Also, this is not only helpful on the front-end layer application design, this also help on the web service layer as well. So I'll cover this complete front-end architectures once we complete all the basic concepts. I hope you like the video, and if you have any doubts or if you have any suggestion, please feel free to drop in the comments. And thank you for joining with me today.